If you're a parent, you have definitely seen these videos pop up in your feed, these clever health hacks for kids that promise a quick and easy fix. But are they actually safe? Well, we had a medical expert take a look, and today we're going to debunk some of the most popular and, honestly, some of the most dangerous bits of advice out there.
And yeah, you're seeing that number correctly. We're talking over 100 million views on some of these videos. When a single piece of advice reaches that many people, it's absolutely critical that we figure out what's genuinely helpful and what's potentially really harmful.
And that really is the big question, isn't it? Are these shortcuts and tricks actually a good idea when it comes to your child's health? Let's dive in and see what the science says, and more importantly, what medical professionals are trying to warn us all about.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start with a huge myth about taking your kid's temperature. Then we're going to get into some seriously dangerous tricks for giving medicine, followed by some truly bizarre cures for injuries. And we'll wrap it all up with what you can actually do to stay safe. Okay, let's jump right into our first case. This is something every single parent has dealt with, figuring out if your kid actually has a fever and how to get a temperature reading you can trust.
So you've probably seen these fever sticker strips, right? You just stick them on the forehead. They seem super convenient. But experts are clear, they're just not accurate. Why? Well, they only measure the temperature of the skin, which can change if the room is warm or if your child has been crying. It doesn't tell you their core body temperature. For the most accurate reading, especially for babies and toddlers, a rectal thermometer is still the gold standard. For a quick and reliable check, though, forehead and ear thermometers are definitely your next best options.
All right, next up, the age-old battle of getting kids to take their medicine. It can be so tough, and of course, the internet is flooded with creative ways to do it. But as you're about to see, some of these tricks are way more risky than you'd think.
You know, the advice from medical professionals on this couldn't be more direct. Instead of trying all these complicated tricks to get a kid to swallow a pill, the safest, easiest, and most effective choice is almost always the liquid version of the medicine. It's often called an oral suspension. And these are the exact kinds of hacks that are going viral. Hiding a pill inside a gummy bear? I get it, it sounds clever, but what if they don't eat the whole thing? Then you have no idea how much of the dose they actually got. And crushing pills is a huge problem, which we'll get to in just a second. All these methods can easily lead to the wrong dose, which could be just as bad as no medicine at all.
Let's really focus on this, because it is so important. Why is crushing a pill such a bad idea? Well, a lot of pills have special coatings on them. Sometimes it's to protect your child's stomach, and other times it's a time-release coating that lets the medicine out slowly over several hours. When you crush that pill, you destroy that whole system. You're basically dumping the entire dose into their body at once, which can be really dangerous or even make the medicine stop working correctly.
You know what's funny? The correct way is actually much simpler than all those hacks. First, just read the labels so you understand the concentration. Second, always use that little plastic syringe or cup that comes with the medicine. Never ever use a kitchen spoon. They are wildly inaccurate. And third, just carefully measure out the exact amount your doctor prescribed. It's that simple. It's safe, and it works.
Okay, get ready for this, because now we're getting into some of the most baffling cures from these viral videos. These aren't just a little bit wrong. They completely defy basic science and logic. Okay, let's take a look at this hack for treating a bruise. A video suggests you should roll a warm, hard-boiled egg on it. This is, and I mean this literally, the exact opposite of what you should be doing. Proper first aid, the kind doctors recommend, is to put a cold compress on a new bruise. And the science behind this is really simple. A bruise is just bleeding under your skin. Heat brings more blood flow to an area, which will only make the bruise bigger and probably more painful. Cold does the opposite. It makes the blood vessels constrict or get smaller, which reduces the bleeding and swelling. Simple as that.
Now for one of the most dangerous things we saw. A video actually shows a venom extractor, one of those suction pump things, being used on a child's tongue after a bee sting. The expert's reaction? An immediate no. You would never ever use that tool there. The tongue is incredibly sensitive, and that device is made for external skin only. Using it in the mouth could cause serious, lasting damage.
So, after seeing all of this crazy misinformation, what's the big takeaway? How can you protect your kids from bad advice that looks so appealing and simple when you're scrolling online?
Look, here are the key things to remember. Just be skeptical of these hacks. Remember, 1 million views does not make something medically accurate or safe. The simple, scientifically proven methods are almost always the best. But most importantly, your doctor or your pharmacist should always be your go-to source. Never ever crush or hide medicine without talking to a professional first.
Following these simple rules can honestly make all the difference in keeping your children safe and healthy. And on that note, we want to hear from you. For our next explainer, what's a topic you're curious about? What would you like us to break down for you? Let us know in the comments.